Ready? We have been discussing the last few months different indicators what allows us to know if a country has good living standards, is quite developed economically, there is not much poverty, cleanliness, life expectancy. It's a good, in general terms, if it's a good country, good to live in, where it gives you chances to improve your life, and everything comes to one question: development. Talk about economy, GDP, Human Development Index is talking about development, and we have to face what are the main threats to the path to development, especially in those developing and very poor countries. Okay, so we are changing problems of development. Before seeing what are the problems of development, let's see what are the factors to increase the development in a country. So, guys, just brainstorming now. When we talk about development, how we can increase development in a country? Ideas from there is no right answer. There is no book. Just you think and let me know an answer.
Investment.
Investment, okay. So, let's write here, like conditions or factors for development, okay? In a country. It doesn't matter from who. From government or private sector. But an increase in investment will play an important role for development, put money in the country. What else? Increase? Increase in both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So we call that increase of the external sector. So higher IMSS, higher X. Higher imports, higher number of exports. Okay? That's an indicator of the countries becoming rich, or is increasing economically, increasing. What else, guys? Girls, any idea? More people in the country is more development? Any other one? How do we measure development in a country, Sumi? How do we measure development in a country? Any idea? Sumi? Employment. Okay, there is a higher level of employment. Okay. Higher employment, yeah, it can be. What else? Conditions for development, higher life expectancy. Very difficult. We can talk about the developed countries, the people die with 50 years old. When they are 50. What else? Huh? Say again? Internet. Interest rate. Interest rate. No. Interest rate is a condition for the banks to increase the flow of money. And I know why you're saying that. Because you're thinking in investment, right? Lower interest rate, higher investment. That's how we get increasing in the investment. But the condition for development is investment itself. Any other idea? I asked you before. I'm still here. I'm waiting for your answer. Doesn't matter if it's wrong, but I want you to talk. So say something. And the answer is not here, okay? Look at me. Here. What is the answer? Say something. You don't have to be right. Just make a mistake. Doesn't matter. I'm waiting. We're not starting the class. I will report if you don't say anything. Say again. Birth. High birth? No. But it doesn't matter if you're wrong, at least you try. Birth rate, if you increase the birth rate, there is more people. Okay? It could happen that you increase the birth rate, there is more people. For example, in Japan, it will be good. We talk about underpopulation and overpopulation. So it's the relation between population, birth rate, with the resources of the country. If there are so many resources and not enough people, the country is underdeveloped because we need labor hands, we need people to work. But normally, if birth rate just increase and increase and increase, it's wrong. Because at some point, more people, it means more people than resources. So think in India, think in Bangladesh. People having children. Actually, countries where are well developed, the birth rate is low. We see the documentary. What is the main thing who has contributed to the increase of the economic system or the economic growth in the few years? Not so much the role of the government, not so much the model of production, as it has been the size of the family size. The family size, gone from 10 members of family to go just a traditional family of just 2 or 1 children, has been one of the main reasons who has boosted the economic growth. Because when you have 2 children, you put more resources to educate them, to give them good school, and you can put more money on them, and you can pay attention better to them. So they will be more productive. And they will make better use of resources. And it will be a lower burden on people paying taxes. Increase of GDP, guys. Life expectancy, Human Development Index. GDP, Human Development Index. What else we have in Human Development Index? Education, guys. Better education. Your brain has to link Human Development Index with development. It goes together. Guys, look the name. It's called Human Development Index. So probably it has to do something with this. So GDP, people who is able to read, literacy rate, healthcare system, tax system, unemployment benefits, all that is related, we talk about development. Countries who are depleted in any of those factors, they have difficulties in order to become a fully developed country. So now with some conditions, okay? This is what we have been seeing the last month, all the time. Population, education, school system. Now we go to the problems that countries face. We saw the video last week. 4 main factors. So one of the factors was corruption, institutions. Why many African countries, they just take money and open banks in fiscal tax paradise. So the money paid by the taxpayers doesn't stay in the country. Go for the benefit of a family, right? And they run the country. Also, education, religious. Usually, there is a strong link between religious country and poverty. More religious, poorer. With the exception of the United States. But because the kind of religion of the United States is slightly different. It's a religion based on if you are successful in this life, you will go to heaven. If you are poor in this life, you go to hell. That's but this is not real Christianity. It's crystal clear in Christianity. The real Christianity, after it was transformed by the Brits and with Protestant countries in North Europe, but the Christianity, it's made crystal clear that in order to go to paradise, you have to sacrifice material life. You have to follow a spiritual life depleted or where you have no material things, no material goods. So this kind of religion just bless people who has money, so people work harder, because it's not just getting money, but it's getting into the paradise. And that's the philosophy of the United States. That's why there is so much competition. That's the philosophy who has been implemented in South Korea as well. It's because the United States helped when they was with war against North Korea. North Korea followed the communist path. South Korea followed the liberal, free economy, capitalist path, who has increased. But also many of the values imported from the United States. You can see problems facing development. Quick list. 1. So when you say A about birth rate, it will be a problem for development. Not good, but the opposite, bad. It will be high growth of population. Use this for your private life. Look, so you want to develop yourself. Why the countries they don't develop? Because the people don't develop themselves. In general terms, you have an economy with high growth of population. It means birth rate goes up. Mothers, they have 3 or 4 children, but they cannot even afford to pay the monthly rent of accommodation. So the money they earn, instead of being used for increasing productivity, buy capital goods, or invest, or become an entrepreneur, use your time to do another job. You cannot, because you need all these resources, fated or destiny, the main destination of these resources will be children. So you put this money in order to feed your children, to give them education, okay? It's good. But then you have another child. And then the money that you see, now I'm free. Then you put money for give them food. Children, they don't become productive economically until they are 16. They are just economically dependent on the parents. And they need food, unless you put them to work with 5 years old. But this is not well trained, because this child, they will learn skills and they will do the same that you do, that the parents did. Just having children, live poorly, and don't increase their benefits, don't increase their life quality. So if you apply to yourself, guys, don't have children if you didn't finish school. That's it. If you cannot afford, because if I have a child, even myself now, I have several jobs. I cannot go to different jobs. And the money that I'm earning here, I can pay university, or I can pay to get some training to become a technician or economist. Or I can go to internet and open a website and make videos. Or I can create something or sell. Why I can do that? I have no children now. I have time. So I can build something, some skill in the future to be better at work. If I take the other path, which is having children without having a very secure and stable present, where I have no much salary now, but I put just this money to pay children, I'm renouncing myself, or I'm avoiding, I'm rejecting the chance to having a better future for myself, because I will need to put all these resources to my children. Which is good when you have a good salary, and you have secure, you have skills, you have learned, you are made. Then go ahead. That's the problem of many countries. They don't go to this step. Before university, before getting skills, before being good, like the guy which is working in a traineeship in the corner, working as a I don't know, in a bakery shop, as a baker, and then he starts having children. This is not the best way. So that's probably what many countries get stuck economically. So we talk about higher birth rate So higher amount of resources used to feed children or used to feed their education cost, instead of being used for yourself, either to invest in a country or in your education, within the long run, will result in a better job or more income. So when it's a problem for development work, it's a problem for the people in general. High levels of international debt. Now, who can explain this? Why a high level of international debt can wait or can be detrimental for the economic development of a country?
Because they need to invest their own company, like domestic ones. If they have international debt, they need to pay back to the other countries like USA, Europe, like Greece or South Korea for 10 years ago to now.
And this has been used as a strategic thing, especially for the United States in South America. Through debt, they have free door or entrance to their policy, to their economic system and everything. So we give you money, we give you the interest rate. So one of the reasons, not the main reasons, don't fool yourself. One of the reasons why South America has, and it doesn't really help to increase the development in South America, is they have big debts with the United States especially. So it has been other countries. So why when you have a big debt? Because there's this money, as you say, John, it will be used to close the gap to the debt, to pay the debt first. So this money then cannot be used to open hospitals. The book says something like, high levels of international debt, then the poor countries borrowed heavily in the past. In the past, they borrowed a lot of money to build the country through consumption because they have high levels of consumption. And then other countries give money. They have to pay back this debt, but the interest rate might be very high. And they never get rid of the debt. Because they haven't even finished to pay the debt, they have to ask for a second debt to keep growing economically. Because usually they are corrupted countries. So, the important is the part of the country's income is used to pay this debt. So the cost of opportunity of a debt, the cost of opportunity is the money that you not use for creating banks. The interest rate is paid to other countries. Do you understand this, guys? Yes. First, reliance on the export of primary products. Okay, I can give you a very good example. Spain and Germany. Better example, Morocco and Germany. Now the things are changing because of the rise of tourism in many countries. We are bringing a high level of incomes to the traditionally poor countries, as it could be, for example, Tunisia. Tunisia get a lot of money from tourism, but because the political situation, religious system, terrorist attacks sometimes, they really hurt the country. So many investors, they are not quite secure to invest in the country, and they damage this economic sector, which is tourism. When a country is not safe, people don't go, and then less business. But this is another topic, sorry. We will see here. If we have a country as Germany, or Hong Kong, or Singapore, Taiwan, where the main exports is manufactured products. Manufactured product means technological products. Usually, what is more expensive, guys? Manufactured products or primary products? Okay, what is primary products? Examples of primary products? No, that's not primary. Primary. What is the primary sector in economy? There are three sectors. What is the primary one? No, three sectors. Come on. Yes, agriculture, fishery, mines. Primary product means not processed in a factory. It means raw material. It means agriculture. It means a tomato. It means a cucumber. It means food, cigarettes. There is no high level of process. You don't have to be a nuclear scientist to do that, right? And every country can do it. So because there is a high competition, there is a tendency of these products to go down in price. That's why you pay more for your phone. Because it's less products, it's more difficult, and there is a huge amount of capital invested to produce that. So if a country focuses in technology, which is expensive, and he exports phones, he's going to get more money than a country which is focusing in tomatoes or olive oil. Like, for example, in Malta, in Greece, the main export, they have no industry. The main exports are olive oil, cheese, feta cheese, and other kind of products that you cultivate and you eat. But of course, they are very nice. Nobody doubts that olive oil is amazing and everything. But nobody is going to pay you 100 euros for olive oil. You have so many countries doing olive oil: Spain, Italy, Tunisia, Morocco, right? And they are all more or less the same. It's easy to cultivate, right? So the primary products, the price is cheap. So now, guys, if you export primary products and then you import technology, what is going to go with the balance? Will go negative or positive, the trade balance?
Negative.
Negative. Because you are selling tomatoes outside or olive oil, and then you are buying iPhones or Samsung phones from South Korea or Toyota cars or Mercedes. You cannot pay that with tomatoes, right? So then the balance, the trade balance, go negative. Now let's put Japan. Let's put Germany. Why German economy goes so well? Because the trade. The external sector. Germany is specialized in sell cars abroad and machines for production, which are very, very specialized in that field and have no competition. No other countries do so well as Germany. So they can charge a good fee for it. So they export these goods abroad, which is very profitable and very lucrative. So they get a good amount of money in the country from there. Then after, what do they import in Germany? Germany has bad weather. Well, but even though the agriculture, many of the products in Europe, they come from Spain. So they get agriculture or primary products coming from Spain and Germany, but it's cheap for them. So always Germany is going to have a negative or positive balance in the external sector. Shopping? Germany will have a positive balance or negative balance. Positive. Because they are selling abroad high technology products which are very expensive, and they are just importing primary products which are very cheap. While Spain is doing the opposite. It's buying very expensive products abroad because Spain has no technology. He has to buy from outside any kind of technology, computers and everything. And then when they want to sell abroad, they sell products who are not very competitive, cheap price, and have a lot of competition. So they will have negative balance, commercial balance. What is selling here basically is countries where are specialized in the primary product. Now, apply in your private life. So the first rule is don't have children if you have no education and you have a good job. Second one, high levels of international debt. Don't get in debt, guys. Don't go to the bank and ask a loan for buying a car, which after the second year, it costs the half price. This you can apply to you guys. Reliance on the export of primary products is telling you, don't go to work in a system where everyone can do the same than you because it's easy to do. Why a cleaner get low price, goes low salary? Because you don't have to have big skills to clean. You can learn in 30 minutes. Why a doctor get a very high salary? Because he needs 10 years in the school. So don't go to the primary sector if you want to make money. Go to the sector where you get the skills that are difficult to get. Difficult to get and are competitive, everyone asks you. Or lack of investment. Someone say that, but lack of investment, not all investment is good for, is the same profitable, or is the best. Not all investment is good for development. Some investment better than others. Especially the best one is in human capital. And capital goods. So this is related to the first point. If you have all your resources and all your money and income to pay your children, you cannot do this. If you have money in the bank, because you save money and you have no many expenses, you can use your money to invest in human capital. It means invest in your education. Or you can work in a company and get paid lower money because you will learn there how to do a very good job. But you can do that because you don't have too many expenses. You have to pay a child. Or capital goods. Buy things that makes you earn money. So you can become an entrepreneur. So what it's telling you in the fourth point, buy things that brings you money. Invest your money in your education. No, education is not university. Education is more things. Invest in people. Try to meet people. Invest your time. But why these countries they lack? Because there is no investment in human capital. The money don't go there because the money go to pay the debt